Here's a story from Grandpa for my three favorite little girls, Emma, Ayla, and Audrey. You'll often hear about famous people who have done amazing things, but did you ever think that all of those people just started out like normal kids like you? Here are 22 famous people in this story, and know that every one of them started off being just a normal kid just like you. The story is, you can change the world. You Can Change the World, Inspiration for Future Heroes, written by Brad Meltzer, illustrated by Christopher Eliopoulos. Want to know the greatest secret of history? It's that history isn't just something that goes backward. History goes forward too. All those great things that haven't happened yet. That's not just the future. That's history that's waiting to be written. So as your new chapter begins, here's some advice for some few ordinary people who, like you, are proof that there's no such thing as an ordinary person. Every life makes history, and every life is a story. It's your turn now. You can change the world. I am Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart set several world records for female airplane pilots in the 1930s, and she died when she was trying to be the first woman to fly around the world. In my life, I took many flights. Every single time there was someone who said that I wouldn't be able to do it. Never let anyone stop you. Whatever your dream is, chase it. Work hard for it. You will find it. And I hope you'll remember that the greatest flight that you'll ever take is the one that no one has tried before. No bounds. I am Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was a physicist who developed a great deal of our understanding of how the physical world works, especially in the theory of relativity. His famous equation was E equals mc squared. Never stop asking why. Never stop trying to figure out how the world works. And never lose that feeling of excitement as you try to find the answer. Curiosity is one of the most powerful forces of nature. The more questions you ask, the more answers you'll find, and the more beauty you'll uncover in the universe. Never stop being curious. I am Marie Curie. Marie Curie was a scientist who discovered much early knowledge about radioactivity. She was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and was later the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes. I didn't let anyone limit what I could achieve. It's easy to follow the crowd and do what's been done before, but to forget your own path, you have to be daring. Science taught me to ask questions, experiment, fail, try again, and then try some more. You won't always find the answers you expect, and that's okay. You'll find new information, new questions, new possibilities. Know the power of discovery. I am Frida Kahlo. Frida Kahlo was an artist in Mexico who was best known for her brilliantly colored portraits. My face, my clothes, the colors on my canvas, they don't look like anyone else's, and they shouldn't. Art is like life. It's messy and bold and scary and fun, and it's all the part of your picture, a magnificent self-portrait that's uniquely yours. The most beautiful thing is you, just as you are. I am Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was considered to be one of the greatest boxers in history. He was also known for his message of black pride. In my life, people tried to knock me down. They tried to count me out. But my biggest fight wasn't in a ring. They were principles for things I believed in. Was I scared? I was plenty scared. I just didn't let it stop me. Always fight for what you believe. I am Sacagawea. Sacagawea was a native woman who was an interpreter and guide for the Lewis and Clark expedition that explored the first western part of the United States. She was also highly cured at gathering food in the wilderness. Wherever you go in life, whatever mountains you climb and challenges you face, find your own way, make your own path, shatter expectations. I am Jane Goodall. Jane Goodall is a primatologist and anthropologist who studied apes in Africa, and she's considered to be one of the greatest experts in chimpanzees. She's been given more than 40 honorary degrees and many other awards. In your life, it will be easy to see how others are different from you, but there's so much more to gain if you instead see how alike we all are. All of us, all living things, share so much. We have so many things in common. We don't own the earth, we share it. When one of us is in trouble, be it human, creature, or nature itself, we must reach out and help. When you do, we build a bridge that will carry all of us. We have so much in common. I am Anne Frank. Anne Frank was a girl who died at only 15 years old when she was killed by the Nazis in World War II. She wrote a book called The Diary of a Young Girl who became famous after her death. Sometimes life will be hard. When it is, look up. See the beauty of the world and the beauty in people. You can always find light in the darkest places. That's what hope is. It's a fire within you, and when it burns bright, nothing can put it out. Keep believing that people are truly good at heart. I am Neil Armstrong. Neil Armstrong was an astronaut and aeronautical engineer who became the first person to walk on the moon. To reach the stars, I needed to solve problems by testing and failing and testing and failing. It is the key of science, and it is also the key to life. It was never just one small step that got me to the moon. It was the thousands that came before it. Every mistake teaches you a better way forward. Every journey begins with a first step. I am George Washington. George Washington was the first president of the United States, the commander of the First Army during the American Revolutionary War, and a leader of the U.S. Constitution. There are many things to lead. You can be a quiet leader, a tough leader, a bold leader, but leadership doesn't come from charisma. It comes from courage, the courage to do what's right, the courage to serve others, the courage to go first. Leadership isn't being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. Find the courage to do what no one's done before. I am Helen Keller. Helen Keller was deaf and blind, but she became a famous author and political activist. Think of your life as a hill that must be climbed. There's no correct path to the top. We all zigzag in our own ways. At some point you'll slip, you'll fall, you'll tumble back down again. But if you get back up and keep climbing, I promise you, you will reach the top. There will always be obstacles, but there will always be ways around them. Don't let anything stop you. I am Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman, after escaping from slavery, also helped rescue 70 people using what is known as the Underground Railroad. She was also later an activist in promoting women to have the right to vote. I fought for my independence, and once I breathed the air of freedom, I knew I needed to help others breathe it too. The measure of success isn't what you achieve for yourself, it's what you do for others. You can make the safe choice or the right choice. Would you put yourself at risk to help someone else? Would you stand up to somebody mighty in order to help someone who is weak? To answer those questions, you must follow your heart, your own North Star. It will always point you in the right direction. Follow your North Star. I am Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was the 16th President of the United States who led the U.S. through the American Civil War that fought to remove slavery. He was killed by an assassin. Strength can take many forms, but there's nothing quite as strong as standing up for someone who needs it. No matter where you're from or how little you have, one thing that can never be taken away from you is your voice. When you find yourself you believe in, use your voice. And when you see injustice, speak louder than you've ever spoken before. It's the most powerful way that can be heard. Always speak your mind and speak for others. I am Malala Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai is an activist to educate women in Pakistan, who is the youngest person to receive a Nobel Prize. I may be small, but I am mighty. You are mighty too. Do not be quiet. Reading, learning, thinking, speaking up. These are gifts that are yours to use. That's how we move the world forward. Pick up your books and pens. They are the most powerful weapons. Education helps us all soar. I am Temple Grandin. Temple Grandin has autism and is also a proponent of autism rights. She is an expert in animal behavior and has written over 60 scientific articles. Be different. We need people who are different. The world doesn't get better by doing things the same way. It gets better by creative and unconventional thinking. We all have gifts to give. Share what you have with the world. Share the things you love. There's not just one right way. The world is more beautiful for it. Be proud to be different. I am Jim Henson. Jim Henson created the Muppets, including Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy, and many characters on Sesame Street. Goodness lives in each of us. That's an idea that should never get old. It starts when we're kids, when we learn some of the best things in life. Laughing, sharing, imagining, dreaming, creating. Never stop doing them, and never stop being kind. There's nothing wrong with being a do-gooder. Keep believing and keep pretending. I am John Lewis. John Lewis was a politician and civil rights activist. He was one of the leaders of the march in Selma across the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and he left scars on his head from those injuries. He later became a U.S. congressman for over 20 years. He said it was important to engage in good trouble, necessary trouble, in order to achieve change. In my life, I was told to stay out of trouble, to stay quiet, to stay out of the way. That's definitely the easiest path. But when you or someone else is being treated unfairly, it's not the right path. If something isn't right or just or fair, you need to say something, do something, help those who need it. Make some noise and move your feet. Freedom only comes when people take action. Go make some good trouble. I am Billie Jean King. Billie Jean King was considered to be one of the greatest tennis players of all time, and was and continues to be an advocate of gender equality. All of us are powerful in our own ways, so how do we get to be your best self? By practicing, sweating, and giving everything you've got. And when you have nothing left, give more. Most of all, in both sports and life, play fair. Real victory doesn't come from points scored. It comes from how you treat others in the game. Champion equality. I am Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was an American activist of the civil rights movement, best known for her pivotal role in the Montgomery bus boycott. The United States Congress has honored her as the last lady of civil rights and the mother of the freedom movement. People tried to knock me down, tried to make me feel less than I was. Let me be clear, no one should be able to do that. But if they try, you must stand strong. Stand up for yourself, even if it means sitting down. Always stand up for what's right. I am Pei. I am Pei was a Chinese-American architect. He designed many famous buildings, including the John F. Kennedy Library in Boston and the Grand Louvre Art Museum in Paris. Life is not a straight path. It curves and zigzags, filled with surprises that are meant to be explored and discovered. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. Your future is yours to construct brick by brick. You can design it, shape it, and build something beautiful. Build something meaningful. Build something that expresses who you are. You are the architect of your own life. I am Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was one of the most prominent leaders in the civil rights movement, promoting nonviolence, until he was assassinated in 1968. He won the Nobel Prize for combating racial inequality. When someone hurts you, it can be tempting to hurt them back. You must refuse. When someone shows you hate, show them love. When someone shows you violence, show them kindness. To reach our goals, we must walk the path of peace. Whatever struggle you face, no matter how hard it gets, you must always move forward. I am proof of this. Don't let anything stop your dream. I am Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton is a singer-songwriter who sold more than 100 million records. As a philanthropist, she created the Imagination Library, in which she donated more than 100 million free books to kids. She also gave money to other many causes, such as cancer research, COVID vaccinations, and disaster assistance for events such as the Great Smoky Mountains wildfires. There's only one thing you gotta be in life, yourself. Whatever you are, be authentically that. And the people who look, sound, or think different from you, love them for who they are too. Your dreams are worth dreaming. Your songs are worth singing. Your story is worth telling. Just as it is, I see the light that shines within you. Be proud of who you are, and don't ever limit yourself. And that's the end of the story. This story is that every one of you can change the world, just as these 22 famous people did. You can. I know you can. Always remember that Grandpa loves you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.